and gentlemen, to PPR Assessment 2. Here I will be talking about Michel Foucault, the Panopticon and how it's used in prisons and society, and the border Panopticon, how modern technologies has changed the traditional idea of the Panopticon. Well, let's get started then. In a discipline, Michel Foucault argues that in a disciplinary regime, as power becomes more anonymous, those that are submitting to it are highly individualized. Foucault, 1977, argues that disciplinary institutions were opened in order for the powerful to observe and evaluate the populace, in order to administer them through institutions like education and penalty. But what do both of those claims have in common? Well, they both rest upon one foundation, of observation, or in other words, the Panopticon style. The concept of the Panopticon first came from Jeremy Bentham, a philosopher. In it, prison cells were set up around the circumference of the inside of a circular building with a single watchtower positioned in the center of the building, which had dark or one-way windows. The idea behind this was that so guards could, inside the watchtower, be able to observe every single cell, even though it is physically impossible for one or two guards to watch hundreds of cells at the same time, without the prisoners being able to see which cells were being watched at what time. This led the prisoners to behave as though they were under constant observation and self-discipline themselves. A very clever trick that reduced the work for the guards. The key point is self-discipline through fear of observation. While the Panopticon is a design for a prison, it can be applied outside the prison systems into society. It is prevalent in everyday life. They're not just based in buildings, but on the roads, streets, even in some houses, all the way to institutions like schools. In that case, the Panopticon refers to a system of people being observed or recorded discreetly, making them self-disciplined and control their behavior. Right about now, you may be asking how they observe us in society. Well, on the streets and roads, the answer is CCTV cameras. CCTV cameras are used globally as a means to discreetly observe people. We often don't even notice them, but on average, we are caught on camera 15 times per day, especially in high traffic areas. But the knowledge of there being a camera is enough to keep us to self-discipline and not commit an act that society deems criminal or bad. There is one more aspect to the Panopticon, and that is not just intimidate us through fear of observation, but is also there for the protection and safety of the people and monitor potential hazards that may take place. Though there will be people that believe that this is a huge invasion of privacy, and all people have the right to not be recorded. I, for one, feel safer with the knowledge that there being a camera watching me. For example, when I'm on the bus or train at night, knowing that there's a camera recording me makes me feel more comfortable that it can deter any would-be assailants from attacking me. Or in the worst case, if I do get attacked or robbed, there is video footage of what happened, making it easier for the police to track down and catch the offenders. In institutions like school, the Panopticon doesn't rely on high-tech cameras or discrete observations. It is much simpler than that. It's direct observation. Assume I'm a uni student sitting in the exam. What stops me from cheating and looking over at my neighbor's answer sheet and copying their answers if I don't know the question? Is it a camera? Well, there are none of those in the exam room. It is in fact the teachers that are walking up and down the rows that deter me from looking. Though I can observe them directly, the unpredictable nature of humans makes it that I cannot know for sure that if I turn to look, they will not turn to look at me. This fear makes me self-disciplined and then not cheat. The positive of this style of Panopticon is that the test remains fair and equal to everyone. Soule and Horner come up with the idea of the portable Panopticon. They argue that modern portable technologies like mobile phones twist the idea of the Panopticon into something new. With our mobile phones, we're able to record, photograph, and post onto social media websites details of what is happening in real time. This essentially transforms any mobile device into a portable watchtower. An example of this is in the video Tweets from Tahir. People use their mobile devices to post tweets and onto Twitter, send videos and images online of how those in power were abusing ordinary civilians who were protesting a dictatorial rule. But isn't this backwards? Aren't those in power meant to be the ones that observe the people? Not people observing others people in power? Well, yes, that would be one of the possible cases. However, the people in Tahir had turned that around and used the system of the portable Panopticon on those in power, Essentially, they used the Panopticon for the protection and safety of the people and to monitor potential hazards that may take place. Through this extension of this argument, they were using it as a means of calling out to help in the world. In conclusion, the Panopticon, once designed for a prison, has evolved into a means of observation of people in their daily lives to keep discipline and order in the state. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and that's the end of it. Have a great day.